Good day and welcome to another edition of Citizens Movement Radio News. Today is Tuesday, 16 September 2025. I'm Bernard Chele, ready to bring you the latest news and updates. Here are today's headlines on Citizens Movement Radio News. It's a mess. Mahere rips Mnangagwa over corruption. Levels of corruption under Mnangagwa embarrassing, says MP. ZANU-PF a den of thieves, says opposition. Now let's delve into the detailed stories. Outspoken former Mount Pleasant MP and opposition official Honorable Fadzai Mahere has described the level of corruption inside Emmerson Mnangagwa's government as a mess. Reacting to the news of donations of ambulances by corruption-accused dealer Wikne Uchivayo, Mahere said it is embarrassing that the government could sink so low to the extent of celebrating ambulances from a convicted criminal. She said it is the duty of the government to provide ambulances and health care to the citizens instead of waiting for filthy donations from corrupt cartels. We spoke to one of our panelists, Tony Shava, to give us his thoughts on this matter.
Hello Zimbabwe, hello citizens, Tony Shava here. Well, Advocate Fadzai Mahere's description of the corruption that is inside Emmerson Mnangagwa's government is well befitting, considering that our country has so far been reduced to a small village that is where the headman just does what he wants. There is nothing that we can celebrate in Zimbabwe at the moment, because there is nothing, there is no development, no economic development, no infrastructural development. There is no development in anything. You see, we have people like Wikne Uchivayo whom we know they're very corrupt, you know, they're serial corrupt people. Everything that they do, ask Wikne, where is your business? Ask Wikne, what products does he sell? He doesn't have anything that we know, but we see him dishing out cars, you know, to people willy-nilly, people that he desires to give. Now we hear that he is giving ambulances to the hospitals, and we see people celebrating that. Well, there's nothing that we can actually celebrate there. He could have done it long back. Many people have died because they could not find transport to take them to the hospital when they were sick and when they were involved in accidents. And it happened as they watched. But nothing was ever done. And as Zimbabweans, we are not looking up to Wikne to do things for us. We are looking up to the government, because the government has got money. We know that the government has money, because Zimbabwe has got a lot of minerals. Over 45 minerals are found in Zimbabwe, which bring revenue into the country, but we don't even know where that money goes. What we know is that there are some few people who are extra rich enough even to dish out expensive cars worth hundreds of thousands of US dollars, you know, willy-nilly. So it's quite very unfortunate, and I really agree with Advocate Fadzai Mahere and also with President Chamisa. I'm sure he mentioned something concerning that what the government has done. It's quite unfortunate and it's quite sad, and we really hope that things would come to a change in Zimbabwe and all these things will be a theme of the past. We need a new Zimbabwe. We need new leaders. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Mbizo, Honorable Koban Madzivanyika, has lashed out at Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime for corruption, which he said is unprecedented. Honorable Madzivanyika said it is concerning that despite evidence of naked corruption exposed by the Auditor General's report annually, there is no will from the state to prosecute government officials linked to graft. He also flagged the office of President and Cabinet as a breeding ground for corruption. Opposition official Stephen Sarkozy Chuma has castigated ZANU-PF for harboring criminals which are linked to money laundering, smuggling and corruption bleeding the country. Chuma described the former Liberation Party as a den of thieves that harbor criminals like Wikne Uchivayo and Kudakwashe Tagwirei in order to benefit from stolen wealth. Chuma said,
Yes, it is now clear that ZANU-PF has become a den of thieves where criminals, including convicted ones like Wigno Chivayo, have found refuge. We've seen the likes of Kudapashi Tagwirei, who is regarded as one of the most corrupt individuals in Zimbabwe, also trying to find a home in ZANU-PF. And we know that there are reports that is already in their central committee. We've also seen the likes of Paul Tungwarara, who is leading the so-called empowerment programs of Emmerson Mnangagwa, is also part of ZANU-PF. So it's now clear that this so-called Revolutionary Party condones corruption, despite Emmerson Mnangagwa's lip service that they have zero tolerance to corruption. But what we have witnessed and what we've seen is that this is a party that protects criminals from prosecution. That is why yesterday we saw Wigno Chivayo donating cars to ZANU-PF provincial chairpersons. This is a clear message to the Zimbabwean masses that all the thieves who want to bleed the country's economy can just do so and go to ZANU-PF to seek protection. So we urge the people of Zimbabwe to unite, to come together, to organize and confront this dictatorship of Emmerson Mnangagwa, because it is doing more damage to the country than any good.
The Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Agriculture recently exposed incompetence by Prevail Group, a company owned by Emmerson Mnangagwa's ally Paul Tungwarara. In its tour of Mashonaland Central Province, the committee established that Prevail Group is yet to deliver on solar-powered boreholes despite receiving millions of dollars from the Treasury for program. Maize farmers in Mashonaland West are facing financial hardship due to the Grain Marketing Board GMB late payments for maize delivered months ago. Many farmers in Banket, Murombedzi and Sanyat say cannot afford seeds and fertilizer, which is now putting the upcoming planting season at risk. The farmers say they were promised quick payments but have been left waiting without clear timelines. They accuse GMB of lacking transparency while they struggle to prepare for the season. Government officials have only given vague assurances, leaving farmers uncertain and under pressure. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe's largest miller, Blue Ribbon, has halted operations at its Bulawayo plant because of an acute shortage of maize. At full capacity, the mill ran 2 shifts, employing 34 workers per shift and producing up to 60 tons of maize meal daily. But workers and operations are now in limbo. The shutdown contradicts government claims of a bumper harvest and a cited cereal harvest of 2.9 million tons, and follows a June ban on maize imports that was based on those official figures. Several other companies, including Sunset Marketing, National Foods, Matokozisi Milling, and Bulateke Milling, have downed or laid off staff as millers struggle to source even small quantities of maize. Trade analysts warn the import ban could trigger a major food shortage within weeks, driving production stoppages, job losses, and higher milling meal prices unless policy changes. Veteran trade unionist Gerald Tavengwa has blamed the ZANU-PF government for misplaced priorities. Commenting on the so-called Munumtapa Day held yesterday, Tavengwa said it is shocking that the government could spend millions of US dollars on an event to bootleg Emmerson Mnangagwa while the country is facing multifaceted problems. Let's hear Tavengwa speaking.
ZANU-PF has continuously shown that it doesn't care about us as the citizens. The event yesterday called the Munumtapa Day, Munumtapa holiday, is a testament by ZANU-PF that they don't care about us. Why use millions of dollars over a one-day event when civil servants are being paid peanuts? If that amount had been channeled towards the payment of salaries of civil servants, it would have been something worth celebrating. Currently, a lot of children at school going age are not going to school. A lot of them have dropped out for one reason or the other, but mainly because they are failing to pay school fees. And yet, you find a government which calls itself a responsible government using millions of dollars. Why not take that money and pay school fees for children? Pay school fees for all that want to go to school. Then we have something worth celebrating. We can celebrate people, a few people who goes and squander millions of dollars, yet the millions of citizens in Zimbabwe are languishing in poverty. It's something that is angering. And we are calling the government of Zimbabwe to make a stop into activities like this, which are useless, to say the least.
War veteran Comrade Blessed Geza, who is one of the voices vehemently opposed to Emmerson Mnangagwa's 2030 agenda, will address the nation again today at 8:30 p.m. Last Friday, Comrade Geza spoke about how he intends to cause havoc at the ZANU-PF Congress due to be held next month in Mutare. He said he already had plans in place to stop those wanting to push for the 2030 agenda at the Congress. In the same address, he also called on the army and VP Chiwenga to intervene and remove Mnangagwa from office since they were the ones who put him as president. Via the 2017 coup, CMRA will be broadcasting the speech live tonight at 8:30. Renowned human rights lawyer Advocate Thabani Mpofu has urged the opposition to regroup and confront the corrupt regime of Emmerson Mnangagwa. Posting on X yesterday, Advocate Mpofu said the opposition must be the one to provide hope for citizens, not disgruntled ruling party members such as Blessed Geza. He urged the opposition to organize and lead citizens against bad governance of ZANU-PF. The opposition has been drawn into mourning following the death of Gogo Phoebe Maimba, who passed away yesterday. Gogo Maimba was the grandmother of Hatfield Ward 22 Councillor Clemens Maimba. She was one of the pioneers of Zimbabwe's opposition movement when she joined the MDC at its inception in September 1999. Alongside her husband Benjamin, known as Gaffa, she committed her home, resources and the family transport business to sustaining meetings and campaigns and providing a safe venue for organization of opposition gatherings. She served in various district leadership roles, mentored many political and human rights activists. We spoke to Wilfred Chipere, one of the opposition leaders in Hatfield constituency, to give us more details.
Not a good afternoon at all here in Hatfield constituency. We've lost one of our strong cadres, the late Hatfield heroine, Phoebe Maimba. We gathered today with a heavy heart to honor the life of our beloved heroine, which is Phoebe Maimba, who passed away last night, the 15th of September 2025 at Pakistan Hospital. Mrs. Maimba was more than a mother, wife, and community pillar. She was a fearless pioneer of opposition policy in Zimbabwe, especially here in Hatfield. From the founding of the MDC in 1999, she boldly stood up when it was dangerous to do so, dedicating her life, resources, and home to the struggle for democracy. Together with her husband Benjamin, popularly known as Gaffa Maimba, she sustained campaigns, sheltered activists, and kept hope alive in Hatfield. She mentored many of us, cared for persecuted comrades, visited prisoners, and served tirelessly as a polling agent to defend the people's will through MDC, MDCT, MDC Alliance and Triple C, resilience never wavered. Sebi endured the threats, scars, and suffering, yet she never gave up. She showed us that true courage is acting in spite of fear. Yet it is better today because of her sacrifices. And her legacy lives on in the leaders she helped shape, including Councillor Clement Mayimba. Go well, yet with the rain. Your light will continue to guide us as we carry forward the struggle you so bravely fought for. Rest well and go well, our Gogo Mayimba. Thank you so much, Etude.
Malawi goes to polls today with 17 candidates running for the presidency. However, analysts say the race is between the incumbent Lazarus Chakwera, 70, and his predecessor Peter Mutharika, 85. Chakwera, just like his predecessor, has been accused of running down the economy of the poor Southern African country with high inflation and unemployment rife. Tanzania's Electoral Commission has once again disqualified opposition presidential candidate Luhaga Mpina, reversing a recent decision that had cleared him to run. This move bars him from next month's election, leaving President Samia Suluhu Hassan without serious competition. Only candidates from smaller parties will be allowed to contest. The main opposition party, Chadema, was already disqualified in April for refusing to sign the Electoral Code of Conduct, and its presidential candidate, Tundu Lissu, remains in jail facing treason charges he denies. A United Nations Commission of Inquiry has concluded that Israel has committed genocide against Palestinians in Gaza since October 2023. The report identified 4 specific genocidal acts under international law, which are the killing of Palestinians, causing serious bodily and mental harm, inflicting conditions calculated to destroy the group, and measures preventing deaths, supported by statements from Israel leaders like Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It accuses top officials, including President Isaac Herzog and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, of inciting genocide through their rhetoric and policies. The findings emphasize Israel's responsibility for failing to prevent and punish these acts, calling for immediate international action amid the ongoing crisis. Now let's take a look at our sports news on CMR. The Zimbabwe men's cricket team beat Namibia by 33 runs to take a 1-0 lead in the 3-match T20I series. The matches was played yesterday in Bulawayo at the Queen Sports Club. Zimbabwe's marathon runner Isaac Mpofu had a superb run to finish 10th in the men's marathon yesterday morning at the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo, making him arguably one of Zimbabwe's greatest ever marathon runner. Was also 10th at World Championships in 2022, 15th in 2023, and took 19th at 2024 Olympics. Football fans are not happy with football administration in the country after a poor showing by the under-17 team, the Young Warriors, in the ongoing qualifiers for the 2026 CAF Under-17 AFCON. The Young Warriors lost 3-2 to Comoros yesterday and were eliminated from the competition. The team had previously drawn 0-0 with Eswatini and losing 1-0 to Mozambique. It's match day 1 in the UEFA Champions League mini-league stage today. Here are the fixtures to be played today. PSV versus Union Saint-Gilloise, Atletico Bilbao versus Arsenal, Juventus versus Dortmund, Benfica versus Karabakh, Tottenham versus Villarreal, and Real Madrid versus Marseille. To conclude our Citizens Movement Radio News, here are the headlines once more. It's a mess. Mahere rips Mnangagwa over corruption. Levels of corruption under Mnangagwa embarrassing, says MP. ZANU-PF a den of thieves, says opposition. The news on CMR English was brought to me, Bernard Schele. Me and the whole crew wishes you all a wonderful evening. Good night to you all. Meet us again in another news bulletin. Good night.